Hello viewers, for DIYers here with another tutorial video for everyone. In this particular video here, I'll be showing you how to drive a vehicle with a manual transmission. For this, I am using my 2007 Volvo C30 with a 6-speed as an example. Knowing how to drive a manual is certainly a great skill to have. It gives the driver more control over the vehicle, and it can enhance the driving experience. First, let me start by saying, not all manuals are the same. While this car is a 6-speed, it's becoming more popular in newer vehicles. The amount of gears really depends on the vehicle. Positions of where the reverse is on a shift pattern also varies as well, so always pay attention to your shifter's diagram if you're new to a vehicle. Picking the wrong direction could result in an accident. I've owned a lot of manuals over the years, have driven a lot more when I worked at a car lot. Some are easier to drive than compared to others. You'll find a difference in feel and weight with clutches, ease of use with the shifter, power, and smoothness. The easiest to drive manual I've ever owned would be my 2007 Volvo C30 T5, and next up would have been my 2004 VW Golf TDI. Usually the best spot for learning to drive a manual is in an empty parking lot. However, side roads with next to no traffic is a great spot too. First is picking the appropriate seat position. Make sure you're in a comfortable spot where you can push the clutch pedal all the way to the floor. Typically, I set my seat where the tip of my shoe can touch the floor behind the pedal. Then adjust the steering wheel as needed. Make sure your knee doesn't hit it. When learning, I'd recommend wearing running shoes as you're able to feel the pedal better as compared to a heavier or stiff sole shoe. Also, make sure your shoes aren't too wide where they may catch up on the brake pedal. Pedal spacing may vary between vehicles. Starting out left to right. First is a clutch, next is a brake, which typically has a narrower pad versus what you may find on an automatic to account for the extra pedal, and finally is a gas or throttle pedal. The information in this video will be based on some requirements which you may encounter in government-regulated driving tests. I'm in Canada, so some of these principles may vary depending on where you're located. When driving a manual, your left foot should only be used to operate the clutch, and that's it. Your right foot is used to control the throttle and brake pedals. When starting a vehicle, make sure the parking brake is applied. It can be pulled into neutral before or after the vehicle is running. Neutral will have the most side-to-side movement with the shifter. Neutral means your vehicle isn't engaged in gear. It's the same as your automatic being in neutral. However, the vehicle can roll away, which is why a properly functioning parking brake is needed. Parking brake locations and styles will vary depending on the vehicle. When starting the engine, you'll need to push in the clutch so the engine can turn over. Typically, vehicles do have a clutch safety switch. You may consider opening the window or turning off the radio so you're able to hear the engine. This also helps if your vehicle is equipped with a tachometer. Before moving, apply the brake using your foot so the vehicle doesn't roll, and then release the parking brake. Select the first gear or reverse depending on which way you need to exit the vehicle's parking spot. Push in the clutch. Select first gear or reverse depending on which way you need to exit the vehicle's parking spot. I would recommend letting the clutch out without touching the throttle pedal. This will give you a feel when the clutch starts to grab and the vehicle wants to move. You should feel, hear, and see the engine RPMs drop, then push the clutch back in. Do this a few times so you understand where that spot is. Some vehicles may allow you to take off without touching the throttle pedal. This car is one of them. Once you get that spot, you can add a little throttle, touching the pedal lightly. Here you're basically synchronizing your left and right foot movements. While your left foot is allowing the clutch pedal to rise, follow with your right foot lightly by pressing the throttle. Watching, feeling, and hearing the RPM of the engine, you're basically trying to maintain an above idle speed. There is no need to rev the engine up to 2000 RPM. While it's harder to stall at a higher RPM, there's a higher chance of burning out the clutch quicker, less control, spinning of the tires, and you won't get a smooth takeoff. As you get more comfortable with the movements, you should be able to bring it down to about 1000 RPM. When you rev the engine up excessively and let the clutch out, again that will promote the slippage of the clutch and jeopardizing its life expectancy. If you let the clutch out too fast and don't apply enough throttle, the vehicle will stall. When you want to stop, push the clutch in and apply the brake at the same time. The clutch is used to engage and disengage the transmission. And don't be discouraged by stalling the vehicle, it does take some practice. Takeoffs will most likely be the hardest part of learning how to drive a manual. Once you're moving, as you increase the speed, so will your RPM as the vehicle is in a fixed gear. In order to move to the next gear, let your foot off the throttle, push in the clutch fully, pull the shifter into second, let the clutch out, and then apply more throttle. When to shift into second can depend on the vehicle. For economical driving, this would be at a lower RPM, say at 2000. For regular commuting, I normally shift around 3000 RPM. If this were a diesel, they're not normally as high revving of an engine than compared to a gasoline engine. Therefore, the power band is lower, so the shift points would be lower. Again, this depends on the vehicle, and you may find recommendations for shift points in the owner's manual. If you were to shift at a lower RPM, say at 1000, the RPM will drop in second gear and you may find a massive lack of power. The engine isn't at its optimal power band, therefore it's working harder to keep the vehicle moving, and this doesn't necessarily mean it's more economical. As you get to a higher RPM again, you can then move to the next gear, this being third, again letting your foot off the throttle, push down the clutch pedal, while second is pulling straight back. For third, the shifter goes into neutral, push it over slightly to the right, and then pop it up into third. Let the clutch out and apply more throttle again. Then eventually you can go into fourth, fifth, and sixth. Your highest gear is intended for highway speeds and will have the least amount of acceleration when you want to pass, which is what I'll cover in a moment. Now when the speed is being reduced, as mentioned earlier, the RPM can drop low where the vehicle will have no power and you do risk stalling. As a generic value, there is about 1000 RPM difference between the gears. This may vary between vehicles and gears. If I were driving at around 40 kilometers an hour or 25 miles an hour in third gear at 1500 RPM, going down to second gear would put the engine at about 2800 RPM. If you were at a high speed in fifth gear and accidentally pull the shifter down into second, you can over-rev the engine and there is a chance that you can cause damage. For downshifting, let the current gear get anywhere between 1000 to 1500 RPM, then shift to the next lowest gear. For each shift, your foot will be off the throttle pedal. It may be used to depress the brake pedal, push the clutch in, shift into the next lowest gear, and then let the clutch out. You can get into rev matching, where it makes the downshift smoother and it's easier on your clutch. This is where the throttle is tapped briefly to kick up the RPM for a second, bringing the RPM range closer. When you're ready to downshift, let your foot off the gas, push in the clutch, tap the throttle briefly to kick up the RPM at about 1000, while shifting to the next lowest gear, then let the clutch out. This can be used for passing when you want to increase your acceleration without slowing down the vehicle, then follow up with more throttle. This can also be used for engine braking. For that, just normally let the engine decrease the RPM while in gear. Once you reach second gear, typically first gear isn't used for downshifting due to how the transmission is designed. Again, this does depend on the vehicle. First gear may not be synchronized. The transmission may not allow you to shift into first gear, or if it does, it'll be at an extremely low speed. Leave your foot on the clutch and come to a complete stop. Always leave your foot on the clutch and the brake until you're ready to take off. Otherwise, you do risk rolling the vehicle forward or backwards. This is also important in an accident. If you're rear-ended, a vehicle may push you forward into more danger. When doing a driving test, you may be required to show your downshifting skills as well. Once you're ready to take off, make sure you're in first gear, let your foot off the brake, then let your foot off the clutch while applying the throttle and you're off again. This does take some practice and will be especially hard on hill takeoffs as you have to prevent the vehicle from rolling back. With lots of practice, you'll be able to take off from a hill without excessively revving the engine, minimal slippage of the clutch, and not rolling back. Driving a manual does have a lot to do with muscle memory, both with your feet and hand movements. It does seem intimidating at the start, but with time, you'll eventually get better, and everyone's learning curve is different. As a kid, my parents owned quite a few manual vehicles, so I knew the basic principle behind it. However, when I got my license, my parents didn't own a manual vehicle, so I learned by myself while working at a car lot. At 16, I had a motorcycle. That did help to some extent, however the shifter operation is different as it's controlled with your foot and the clutch is by hand. Now covering some commonly asked questions and tips. While it may seem like I'm resting my foot on the clutch pedal, I'm not. There's about an inch between my shoe and the clutch pedal face. You should never rest your foot on the clutch pedal as this may slightly disengage it, promoting slippage and jeopardizing the life of the clutch. Driving a manual can be a good workout for your left leg. Your first time driving, you may experience some discomfort and that's perfectly normal. As you drive more, you'll eventually get used to it, especially if you do quite a bit of stop and go driving, such as what is found in the city. For winter driving, if you are finding excessive wheel spin in slippery conditions, you can start out in second gear. Some automatics even have this feature. With first gear being the shortest ratio, it does have the highest amount of torque, which makes it easier for the wheels to spin. You can see my wheels are spinning, as shown by the flashing traction control light on the left side of the gauge cluster. Second gear isn't excessively hard on the vehicle, it still allows for a takeoff while reducing some torque. Spinning the wheels in snow doesn't necessarily help, as this will create heat that makes the snow melt and creates ice under the tire contact patch, removing all chance of traction. Downshifting can be done at higher RPM points. This will promote engine braking and enable you to use your brakes less. Rev matching would certainly be recommended with something like this, as hard downshifts without it can sometimes be harder on your clutch. Shifting through intersections can be against driving test rules, so be mindful of that. I'd also recommend not changing gears either up or down, going through corners, as this may cause the car to lose control depending on the situation. I have had harder downshifts before in the past where there was sand on the road and it caused the back wheels to skid. What happens if you let the clutch out too fast or too slow? Letting the clutch out too slow, this promotes slippage and it can wear out the clutch faster. Letting the clutch out too fast, well, there's higher risk of stalling the engine. If the clutch is let out too fast with a higher RPM, this can be hard on the drive line. The key is finding a balance between slow and fast. Don't rest your hand on the shifter either. This may put pressure on the linkage or gears, prematurely wearing out components, so it's best to put your hand back on the steering wheel. Is it bad to leave your foot on the clutch while at a stop? When the clutch is pushed in, this does activate the throwout bearing and it can cause extra wear. In order to avoid this when stopped, you can shift the car into neutral, then let your foot off the clutch. When you're ready to go, push the clutch back in and put the transmission back into gear. Life expectancies of the throwout bearing do vary. I've seen vehicles with well over 300,000 kilometers or 185,000 miles without ever having any clutch work done. Putting your car into neutral while at an intersection may be against driving test regulations, so be mindful of that. New videos are released every week on my channel. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, it's a huge help to me, and leave a comment below if you found this tutorial helpful. And if you're not a subscriber, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching.